Justice order, this is a revised criminal justice committee agenda. I hope you all have it. I entertain a motion to approve the minutes from our prior meeting. Matt, Fred, any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. You're up, Joy.
Okay, pretty straightforward. We're amending the budget to include grant funds so that we can reimburse indigent, services provided by the Legal Aid Society, and to get me a part-time person to cover vacation sick. And that's about what it all rolls into. We also need to do renew a contract for the... That's the one that was finance. Oh, gotcha.
Okay, those would be the first two items on your, agenda. I'll entertain a motion. Ron? Fred? Any discussion? Questions? Yes, Rachel.
Just confirming that in the rationale here you state that if it's not 100% covered by the grant, there's no match money, I assume, then the position goes away.
Correct.
Okay, and in the past I noticed when we do those 2% increases, these positions aren't subject to the 2% increase?
Correct.
Is that right?
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. So, being no further questions, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Next.
Okay, we need to create the part-time position that'll be funded by the grant.
Okay.
I already have somebody lined up, and resolution form 11 is there, along with resolution request form number 12.
Somebody wanna move that? Matt, second? Fred? Any discussion? Questions? Concerns? All, come on, Rachel.
I can't help but ask, you have somebody lined up, did you already advertise before the position?
Didn't
How does
advertise.
that work? Do you have to advertise?
It's not one of those positions.
So it's not in the Trish realm of the world,
No.
it's appointed? Is that
Or
correct?
I'm appointed, so
I'm confused.
Well, Trish was apparently confused as well,
Oh.
but Gretchen managed to get things straightened out and had everything lined up for me as I requested.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't have asked, is Paul here?
Yes.
So what's the scoop of this position? We don't have to advertise, or it doesn't have to go through civil service?
This is a, was it less than part-time position, I believe, and, I think in view of the, position, I don't think there was a list, and so I think you can hire whoever you want. They probably will have to be tested at some point, unless Trish gets it exempt, but I think it's, right now it'd be
Headed in that direction.
probably tested.
We don't advertise, you can pick whoever you want, and later we'll do a test, and at that point we advertise and go through the process?
Not necessarily. I was here 7 years before they tested me.
But to answer Supervisor Siebert's question, yes, when the, civil service testing is made available, it will be published.
There is no test.
Everybody's eligible to take the test. The individual picked at this point would have to end up in the top 3 in order to be one of the candidates considered for selection.
So the answer was yes. Jim?
How many hours?
What did it work out to be? I think it's less than 15, maybe 20 hours a week, somewhere along that line. And it won't be every day, it may be every other day, so I can get her broken in, and then she can fill in for me when I take vacation.
Is that the main point?
Yes.
These are hard positions to fill when we are trying to get a 15 to 20 hour person with a flexible schedule, and if we have somebody, usually we try to, obviously take advantage of that fact and work them in.
We don't have to advertise, is what I'm hearing.
You can appoint this person, and then when they take the test, it'll be advertised.
Okay.
So whoever you have in mind for it, let them know.
I don't, I just think we, it's good to advertise these positions, and, one of the big criticisms we hear is we shove people in we know, and it's all set up beforehand, and we're just going through motions. I just wanted to...
Well, you'd be hard pressed to find anybody that wants to sit in that office, let alone volunteer to do it.
Mr. Chairman,
Want
for
an
the,
intern?
but for the record, I guess we should be clear that you can advertise, and the board could direct that we advertise for every single position if you wanted to.
I don't know if here today is the day to be discussing this, that was new to me, I didn't really understand the process.
Think it over and bring it up in legislature. Let's bring it to a vote. If nobody has anything further, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. It's up to you.
Okay, next is a new contract with the Rural Law Center to cover all appeals for public defender and assigned counsel. Rural Law Center's been in activity about 5 years. They, as we discussed, Amy Bartlett and I, with Cynthia Feathers, it looks like she can really offer some major cost savings. I can throw some numbers at you. In 10 years, we spent $433,000 on appeals. That's $300 and change a year. And this contract worked out to be what, Amy, $30,000 a year. We were averaging 11.8 cases per year. PD's office did 7 cases per year in the 3 years they've been doing appeals. So I think this is gonna be a major cost saving for the county, the taxpayers. I think it could be a real boon, because we've been spending an awful lot of money on appeals.
So I didn't want to say, because I think it's 30,000, but it's 30,000 if it's a standard case, if it's
Right.
any different kind of case, if it's a large case.
Right, a murder case.
They're gonna charge more than 2,000.
But I still think it'll be a savings in the long run, because they will weed out so many files that have to be weeded out by the individual attorneys that are assigned through the appellate division in my office, and they know that what they're doing. They've got a huge database with all kinds of forms that they've been setting up over the last 5 years. They can really crank it out. They'll eliminate the appeals that are frivolous right from the get-go, and they won't even be heard.
Yes, Ron.
Make the motion to
Rachel, second. Any further discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Carried.
And last one is to renew the contract with the Legal Aid Society, excuse me, for conflict defender services for family court. They've been doing a great job, never had a complaint about their attorneys that they provide. All the people that are assigned are happy, and they do a wonderful job.
Move that.
Matt? Ron? Any further discussion? Seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion's carried. Thank you very much, Joy.
Thank
Good
you.
job.
Thank you.
What, in case I didn't
I
read
wanna-
far enough?
yeah.
Dennis, you have to hit the things that they done.
Thank you, Joy.
No, we're gonna read the rest of the agenda.
I'm Sheriff,
Are
where
you
are we?
okay? Much coffee did you drink?
Believe me, I'm done talking.
She's a little off balance after last.
Oh, John, I almost forgot about you.
We're not done.
No one's giving
You're more than
me
welcome,
a
sit down. You're more than welcome, sit down, Jim, but we're not gonna let you vote.
We're an inclusive committee.
Yeah. We have one more item on here. John Wappett would like to speak to the committee. It's, matters leading to the appointment of a particular person. We're gonna go into executive session.
So we would need a motion, Mr. Chairman.
We need a motion. Matt? Rachel? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? We're in executive session. Be ever after here, and one of the issues that came up was the salary for the replacement, and I would entertain any input from the committee what we should be looking at and how we should ascertain the validity of the salary. So, Fred?
Well, I think you need to look at the population, which you have a study that's done by, I guess, the personnel office, but also the seasonal population, the volume of cases, you know, in comparison with other counties, and the mix of cases between, you know, felonies and misdemeanors and other cases, because that enters into it also.
Good point. Anybody else? Rachel?
I would just ask that, maybe even in general, when we're doing these salary studies, that our HR director coordinate and seek input from the, department head, maybe to find out what's most unique to Warren County, perhaps, as it relates to the public defender's office, or, you know, to get input from the, you know, whether it be Jones' office, John's office, who's ever leaving, because I think it might bring up some issues that we aren't aware of that would uniquely qualify Warren County to look at one end of the study or the other. I don't know, John, you feel that would be helpful or not, but, by someone sitting on the outside, it seems like inquiring more within that department would be a good idea.
So far as I can recall anyway, every time we've done significant salary adjustments in our office, it has always been a matter of us going and contacting similar counties, polling them for the equivalent salaries for the positions. Keep in mind also, we also look to things like full-time, part-time, whether they do appeals, experience level to some extent, and things like that. Other variables that are in this. Like just a quick look I had at that sheet there, I could probably pick out most of the ones that are part-time public defenders because of the nature of the salary and such. And a lot of the counties do that, and a lot of them have part-time assistants, so the numbers may be higher, but they're not working full-time as ours are. I will certainly put together a comparative analysis on these, and since almost all the counties now use the same database system for defense work, it's called, we pay for it every year, PDCMS, we should be able to get those numbers, the numbers of felonies, misdemeanors, et cetera, to be able to give you a good idea of what the other counties are facing as opposed to what we're facing, so we can be talking about apples and apples rather than grapes and gravel.
I think Rachel's point's well taken, John. I think if the HR department were to sit down with you for a few minutes and go through these recommendations, I think you'd be a valuable asset for that process.
Certainly.
Excellent. Anybody want anything else? Fred, did you have something more?
Well, just that it always has struck me as interesting that, you know, we have mandated salaries for the district attorney's office. I think irrespective of what the size of the county is, and the public defender's office is handling the same cases on the other side, so it's like somebody made a value adjustment that we need to pay the prosecution side a lot more than the defense side, which has always struck me as a little unfair.
Not all cases, people have private attorneys.
Yeah, it seems that, Fred.
Not
Just to show the equivalent of them.
Someone's paid by the county, the district attorney is paid more than the public defender.
We handle about 75% of the cases the DA does, but we also handle parole cases. We also handle a lot of stuff in family court, stuff that the DA's office doesn't even get involved in.
Right.
So the equivalent workload is quite similar, actually. I found that actually a bit of a surprise when I came on board here back in '05, because I had no idea that we did almost 40% of our business was family court.
Well, you definitely need to be involved with the HR when you figure the salary out.
Okay.
Matt?
I just think we need to be careful when we start comparing Warren County to any other county. Warren County is,
You got it
Well, we
right,
get
man.
caught
You're
into
all
that.
right.
and you know, I think we do a disservice. I mean, we have to decide what's right for our county. I can look at, you know, Essex County, they've got half the population and the salary's almost equivalent. I mean, there's so many variables, and the demographics between the counties are totally different. We have our own
Well,
identity.
I think the pool they used for that chart was a poor selection. I realize they're neighboring counties, but they're worlds away.
It's good information, but I think it needs to be.
Yeah, I think if we go through this list that Fred has, plus the HR, and get John involved, I think we'll come up with a reasonable salary here. Jim?
Yeah, the other thing is, when we look at it from a civil service point of view, we can analyze who makes what and sort of line it across and all that stuff. But when it comes to this, it's more of a market, almost like a private industry kind of comparison. And you may say, well, this person makes this and this person makes that. But in private industry, you're also looking at what do we want to accomplish and what quality type person do we want. which maybe you wanna pay higher in order to get the better person, so it's not just who makes what, but what are you trying to accomplish?
Right.
And I think, you know, that's, I think, a big factor in this. And the problem with public defenders is people are like, you know, those are, people don't want to invest in it, but I think, like Fred was saying, you wanna have an equal thing
Right.
in order for us to have justice.
Keep in mind, Chairman, that the Court of Appeals recently found that in the state of New York, there was an enormous disparity, and an illegal one, actually, in the two sides that have just been described here, and that the state on the whole is deficient in their providing of services for the indigent. In fact, 5 counties that were named in the Harrell Herring suit have been awarded serious amounts of money to be paid by the state to upgrade their system. And implicit in the decision by the Court of Appeals is that almost all of the counties in the state are likewise deficient and need propping by the state. And it's only a matter, in fact, a number of the ones that are listed in those sheets that were handed out to you were named parties in that suit. So I think what we've done here, we should take a bit of pride in, because I think actually, from my discussions with all the other PDs in the state, and I've had a number of them, this county treats its indigent defendants better than most. We're not there yet, but we're a lot closer than most of them, and I have nothing but pity for some of the counties that are even on that list there, and what they're going through, and what their PDs and their assistants have to go through, because they haven't got anything like the support you people have been kind enough to give us. So,
Great.
it kind of skews that bare number like that, but it's skewed in a good way.
Ron,
I'd like to make a motion to adjourn.
second? Rachel? John, thank you very much for
Yes,
your
sir.
input, we look forward to hearing.
Thank you.
All right,